And direct sow these right into the ground, of course, because they've kind of been the bane of my existence. Under perfect conditions, maybe this would have happened, but hello, all of you participating in this science experiment. It is August 13th, and it's starting to get cool in the mornings again. It's been 7 days since I planted the radishes here. And as you can see, the only signs of life is this mushroom that I've knocked over with my daily watering, but I'm keeping the soil moist. My concern is we had a lot of rain in my area from Hurricane Debbie, and I'm worried that the seeds got washed out or drowned, and now I'm not gonna have any radishes popping, but I'm still gonna wait. It's the earliest point in which they would have germinated, so under perfect conditions, maybe this would have happened, but I still gotta stay hopeful for a few more days, up to another week, for our longer term radish, the Black Spanish. I'm hesitant to plant any more radish seeds because I just don't know what the germination rates are like, and I don't want to waste my time, so I'm going to give it a few more days, and if 30% germinate, I'll plant the rest of the packet somewhere in the garden. I have tons of space ultimately. One thing I definitely want to try next year is utilizing my space a little bit more. As you can see right here, there's a lot of space underneath the cucumbers that was underutilized. I could have grown some lettuce or something that's a little less heat tolerant during the summer. But ultimately, I didn't get this little trellis up until, I don't know, it was July or something. So there really wasn't time for much of that. I wasn't prepared to do such intensive gardening at the time. But now I think with a little bit more thought, next year I can pull it off. And then on the topic of space, I didn't even think about where the sun was coming from, and that is giving me all the energy for all of these plants. So all of this over here, my tomatoes, my peppers, my flowers, they all got shaded out by the crazy growth of the cucumbers, especially as I got it up the trellis. But even right here, there's this whole area where it's just cucumber expansion, and I could have planted again some lettuces or some less heat liking crops there. I could have utilized the space more, but I just wasn't thinking about it. I only had a few of these flowers pop, and I was just hoping that some more would, but I never utilized this whole space, and that's plenty of space to grow radishes or carrots or anything, even a whole head of broccoli. And I'm really just not too happy with how the cucumbers turned out. I think it's just too many cucumbers in too small a space. That being said, they are a very prolific bunch, and right here you can see there's another cucumber. It's the plant that's always given my summation so far, is that they're easier to grow, they're prolific producers, and they can handle quite a bit of abuse. But that's based off a very small sampling, so of course there's always more to learn. Follow along if you want to learn more. Right here you can see I kind of cut all the kale and arugula back because we've had bad pest problems, and I saw online that if you cut it back to just these little nubs, then it helps get rid of the pests and it becomes a little bit more manageable, and the plant usually will bounce back from that. I don't know if it works for arugula. I did see that about kale, and we're just giving it a try. We're experimenting, we're trying things out, and we're seeing what works. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take some peas and we're gonna plant them right over here in this shady spot of soil that we got, and we're just gonna direct sow these right into the ground. Of course, I've got the soil nice and workable, it's nice and moist. My soil does stay pretty damp, even if I don't water it, just because of the mulch that I have on top of it, and I pretty much just let that sit there. But I'm just gonna sow these about an inch into the ground here. I'm just gonna take just about that much space and then put a little pea in there and cover it up nice and gentle. And then I'm gonna go about 2 feet over, follow the spacing this time, and I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna just poke a little hole in the ground and put a pea right there. Perfect. I'm gonna give the whole area a nice watering. Of course, I got 1 pea right there and 1 pea right there, and I'm gonna just chop back that cucumber real quick. Ultimately, I think I went a little overzealous with my chopping there, and this is more abuse than even a cucumber can handle. And that little guy right there, well, that's as big as it's gonna get. I'm still trying to move away from the cucumbers because they've kind of been the bane of my existence. You know, they've been the best producer for me this year, but also they've been shading out all the other crops and not giving them a chance to produce. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Admittedly, without the cucumbers, my whole garden would look kind of bare. Hey, but I'm still figuring it out, and this whole documentation process is me just, learning and trying new things, and hopefully it helps some people out there, or they find it enjoyable to see me fail or succeed. I don't know, but I hope you follow along, and I hope you enjoy this content. Still haven't figured out what to do with the tomatoes. We have our one tomato growing strong, and right up here you can see a teeny tiny little tomato. And hopefully that keeps going. Oh, and there's even another one. That's great. Tomatoes are one of the best homegrown crops because they're easy, and my garden neighbors don't even come here, and they got all kinds of tomatoes taking over their entire garden, more than they can eat. It's that easy. I'm gonna plant one more pea seed right here, and hopefully as the weather continues to cool and the cucumbers kind of die back, this baby will help support that pea. That's all I got for you today. Tune in next time for more updates about my garden and updates about what I've learned, and hopefully it helps you learn and become a better gardener yourself. Follow along, like this video, and comment your favorite plant to grow. That really helps me out, and I hope you have a great week. Thanks so much.